until the rain stopped. The rain had been falling since morning. It was soft and steady, making the streets shine and the windows blur. Arav stood inside his small bookstore, warm and quiet, listening to the raindrops. The sound was like a slow song. Then, the bell above the door rang. A girl stepped inside, soaked from head to toe. Her hair was wet and her suitcase left a trail of water behind her. But she smiled, even with the storm outside. "Sorry," she said with a small laugh. "I think I brought the rain with me." Arav smiled back. "That's okay," he said kindly. The floor needed a wash anyway. She looked around the shop, taking it all in. The old wooden shelves, the soft light, the smell of tea and paper. "This place feels safe," she whispered. "You can stay as long as you like," Arav said. "The rain doesn't look like it's stopping soon." He poured her a cup of chamomile tea and showed her the cozy reading corner. She sat down, wrapped in a warm blanket. The shop was quiet, except for the rain and the sound of pages turning. It felt peaceful. After a while, she spoke again. "Do you ever get tired of being in one place?" "No," Arav said softly. "Some things grow best when they stay still." She looked at him, surprised by the calm in his voice. "I've always been running," she said. "From one city to the next. I didn't know how much I needed to pause." He nodded, understanding. "Maybe the rain brought you here for a reason." That night, she didn't leave. The roads were flooded, but even if they weren't, she might have stayed anyway. The next morning, she helped him open the shop. They had tea together again, and it felt natural, like they had done this many times before. As the days passed, they talked more. About books, about dreams, about how she had traveled the world, and how he had never left the town. She started helping him with the shelves, laughing when she put things in the wrong order. One evening, she looked up from her book and said, "I think I've been looking for something. Not a place, a feeling. And I feel it here." Arav smiled. "You don't have to leave just because the rain stops." She looked out the window. The rain had slowed, then stopped, but the warmth between them stayed. "I think I'll stay a little longer," she said. "Maybe until the rain comes again." Days turned into weeks. Maya was still there. Every morning, she helped Arav open the bookshop. She would sweep the floor, make tea, and hum softly while arranging books. Arav didn't ask why she hadn't left yet. He didn't want to rush her. He just enjoyed every moment she stayed. They began to know each other in little ways. Arav learned that Maya loved rainy mornings and old poetry. Maya learned that Arav collected bookmarks from every customer who left one behind. He had a jar full of them, colorful, handmade, some with notes scribbled on them. Sometimes they didn't talk much. They just read in silence, sitting near each other in the cozy reading nook. Other times they laughed over silly things, like when Maya accidentally knocked over a stack of books, or when Arav tried to bake cookies and forgot the sugar. One evening, Maya was looking through her travel blog. She had written about cities, mountains, and oceans. But now her words were different, softer, slower. She was writing about the bookshop, about Arav, about the quiet joy of staying still. "You write beautifully," Arav said, reading over her shoulder. "I used to think stories only lived in faraway places," she said. "But maybe the best ones are right here." He looked at her. "Maybe the story isn't about where you go. Maybe it's about who you find." Their eyes met, and for a moment, everything felt still, like even the world had paused to listen. That night, it rained again. Maya stood at the shop door watching the drops fall. Arav joined her. "Do you still want to leave when the rain stops?" he asked quietly. She shook her head. "No, not anymore. I think the rain was just helping me slow down, so I could find this." He gently took her hand, and she didn't pull away. As spring turned into early summer, the bookshop began to feel more like home, not just for Arav, but for Maya too. She painted a little sign for the front window. "Come in, the tea is warm, and the books are waiting." Arav smiled when he saw it. He didn't say much, but he moved his favorite chair next to hers in the reading nook. That said enough. On quiet days, Maya sat by the window with her notebook, writing poems about the sea breeze, the smell of old paper, and the soft way Arav said her name. He sometimes brought her tiny surprises, a fresh flower in a teacup, a rare travel book he thought she'd love. a handwritten quote tucked inside the pages. They weren't in a rush. There was no big moment, no loud confession. Their love grew slowly, like sunlight creeping across the floor in the morning. One evening, the power went out during a soft rain. The shop was dark, lit only by the candles they placed around the room. Arav made hot chocolate on a small gas stove, and Maya wrapped herself in a thick blanket. They sat close, listening to the rain. "Read to me," Maya whispered. Arav picked up a book of poems and read in a steady voice. She closed her eyes, leaning against his shoulder. "I could stay like this forever," she murmured. He didn't answer with words. He just held her hand. The next morning, Maya woke early and made a small breakfast: toast, fruit, and tea. She waited for Arav to come downstairs, nervous but smiling. When he did, she handed him a little envelope. Inside was a photo, one she'd taken of him looking out at the rain, and a note that read, "You're the calm I never knew I needed." He looked up, eyes full. "You stayed," he said. "I did," Maya replied. "And I'm not leaving, not unless you ask me to." Arav stepped forward and gently hugged her. "I'd never ask that," he whispered, "not even if the rain never came back." Summer bloomed gently over the small town. Flowers lined the streets, children ran barefoot near the beach, and laughter floated on the breeze. Maya and Arav found their rhythm: quiet mornings, busy afternoons in the shop, slow walks under golden skies. The town grew to love Maya as much as Arav did. She took photographs of the locals, helped kids write stories, and even started a weekly tea and tales hour where people gathered to share poems and memories. One evening during the town's annual summer fair, the mayor asked Maya to speak. Standing on a small stage decorated with lanterns, Maya looked out at the familiar faces: the baker, the old fisherman, Arav standing near the front with a soft smile. "I used to believe I belonged to the road," she said, her voice steady. "That staying in one place would make me lose myself. But then I found this town. And I found a man who didn't just give me a place to stay. He gave me a reason to stay." The crowd clapped softly. Arav's eyes shimmered. That night, back in the bookstore, Maya found a small book resting on the reading chair. The cover had a photograph of the shop and the title, "The Story That Stayed." Inside, Arav had written little notes, bits of their journey together. On the last page, in careful handwriting, it said, "Will you stay always?" She looked up, and Arav was there, holding a tiny box. Inside was a ring, simple, silver, and shaped like a raindrop. "Yes," Maya whispered, eyes full. "Yes, always." He smiled, pulling her into a hug, and outside, just for a moment, the softest rain began to fall, like a blessing from the sky. And so, the girl who once ran with the wind found her forever in a quiet shop, beside a gentle man, in a town where the rain had finally led her home.